Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the summary. Situation report for the day of 1131 for the 30th of March. Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri or Selamat Hari Raya Puasa or Eid Mubarak, so to all the Muslims. And so we have some crazy updates, and I have already mentioned most of it over in the Frontline Changes report. I bet you might have saw it. If not, check the subscription, make sure you are subscribed, and of course, if you still don't see it, now you know what kind of enemies we are dealing with. So we're going to start off from the Kherson front, going up to the Kursk front. At the Kherson front, we have fighting being reported in the direction of Sadove, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Very weird, but it is what it is. There's probably some fighting in the islands across Stepne. There's a possibility. Shelling is reported at Sadove as well, and there's shelling reported at Kherson, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. So we will see what is this all about. But tentatively, there's still no more intel about this, and somewhere southwest of Kherson, there's also shelling being reported here at Dnipropetrovsk. So there seems to be a lot of all these things. At Sadove itself, in the direction of Sadove, it's really possibly is just this area. And it could be the Russians are trying to attempt to capture the cat's parents' home. The cat parents' home is really important to the Russians, maybe. So maybe that's the reason why they want to capture the cat's parent home. But of course, taking all these areas may have further long-term implications, like preparation for the crossing of the Dnieper into the northern part of Kherson. That's a possibility. Narrative coming out from Moscow seems to be getting more and more confident. They might be going for something big soon. So stay tuned as the Ukrainians starting to struggle more and more to hold grounds. So let me adjust my posture, as that is too relaxed. So we move on to the Zaporizhzhia front. So over at the Zaporizhzhia front, the Russians continue their offensive over in the Kamsky and Orikhiv sector. And fighting is now still being reported at Stepove, Mali Shcherbaki, and Novoandrievka. However, the Stepove is mentioned by the Russians as well, but Mali Shcherbaki is only by the Ukrainians. Novoandrievka is by the Russians. So there is some situation happening around here. So let's see. Mali Shcherbaki is mentioned to be captured by the Russian Defense Ministry. That's the wrong icon. It should be a loud hailer. So which is probably why the Russians did not mention about Mali Shcherbaki. Yes, Stepove, they also say they captured. Okay, I can eat my own words. Okay, so there is geolocation of a tank getting hit by FPV drone at Novodanilivka, but that's all. So the battle, the Russian offensive continues in this sector. We move on to there's nothing at the Huayapule sector, to the Velika Novosilka front. So at the faraway regions in the rear of the Ukrainian forces, Russians continue to be doing shelling. According to their reports, they named a lot of different places like Yalta, Pivdomne, Myrne, as well as Malievka. So Myrne have a different name called Karla Martsa. So it's definitely not. This is actually not Russian, if I'm not wrong. It's a different language, if I'm not wrong. I'm quite sure someone in the comments is going to tell us stories about that. Like maybe it's some famous character or what. I'm not sure. But yeah, it doesn't look Russian to me. But anyway, this is the shelling in the rear positions. So they are definitely seemingly intensifying the offensive in this region, softening the rear. And the Russians are attacking at Rozdone, Vasile, Vernopole, Privyone, Novosilka, not exactly. There's a geolocation of Russian forces there, and Zelenopole. So this is the Russians are pushing in the entire front line over at Novosilka, we have frontline changes with Russian forces seemingly taking more grounds inside Novosilka. So that's yeah, very tiny change at Novosilka, but no, yeah, still advanced. So that's all from Velikan Novosilka. Very intriguing place right now. Over in the Andreevka front. At the Andreevka front, we have the ridiculousness of the Ukrainian mapping deep state UA expanded. So yesterday we have this box. They have drawn this box. Now they have expanded more boxes. Now they have all these boxes right now. They refuse to acknowledge that the Russians have taken like most of the town. No, they have to say that the Russians are here and here and here and here and here, which makes zero sense. So yeah, I mean this is too copish. And for us, one geolocation, we have attributed a whole chunk here to be under Russian control, and the Russian mapping have also updated. So if you look at only the Russian mapping alone, they have claimed that the entire chunk here is now under Russian control, all of this. So the Russian mapping have, based on the geolocations and the latest intel they get, ascertain that the Russians have captured basically everything east and everything south of Rozlyv. And coupled with the geolocations and of course the Ukrainian mapping, it most likely the Russians have taken this much. So this area here should be under Russian control. So means the Battle of Rozlyv might be coming close to an end very soon, because if this is reality, there's only one road left. Okay, one way coming down from the Ukrainians, and yeah, that's about it. This is the only way out. Everything else is just open ground. Like you can see, there's not much here. It's just open ground. Maybe this road, but the Russians are here already. So there, yeah, Rozlyv is gone, and it's gone. So yeah, it's just ridiculous mapping. Why do they map it like this? Like, why? Why? So no, it's as if like no, the Russians just found another tunnel or pipeline or drainage system to pop up from, so they just appear in the middle of nowhere. I'm not sure if insane. So in the Andreevka front, generally speaking, of course, we have the Battle of Rozlyv with all this frontline change in these sectors. We have the continuation of the battle at Constantinople, Andreevka, as well as towards Oleksievka. So the strategic view is like this. Yeah, we'll continue to monitor, but the big change over at Rozlyv does put a lot of things unbalanced, particularly towards Bahatir. Over here, the Russians could potentially start to attack there or cut off the road at Constantinople, which means that Constantinople will fall, and then the front line may soon become like this. So stay tuned. No, you can. It is most likely we're gonna see this very soon. So we move on to the Pokrovsk front. So this is Pokrovsk, and this is the Pokrovsk front, and in the southern flank of the Pokrovsk front is yet another one hell of frontline changes and developments. So in the southern flank, Russian forces, according to Russian mapping, have taken everything west of Nedievka, everything east of Troitsky, cutting through Bodanivka, expanding down south of Zaporizhia and south of Novoandreevka. So the Russian forces basically have advanced massively in the south of Yasinove, south of Zaporizhia, west of Zaporizhia towards Troitsky. Preobrazhenka, as a result, is taken by the Russian forces, and they are pushing towards Kotlyarivka. So this is yet another massive change. Fighting is mentioned at Bodanivka, Troitsky, Horikove, Kotlyarivka, and Nedievka. So all of these areas are all mentioned. And the front line, honestly, is not impossible because we have reports of fighting in this region for a long time, and the lack of frontline progress, thus may possibly be a lack of intel or update. And now suddenly everything just dropped at the same time. So there's a possibility. And this also corroborates why the Russians are able to reach here this far out, because the Russians have already advanced in the peripheral. So that all makes sense to me. So the question is mainly when we will get the corroborations, particularly from geolocations or from Deep State UA. So let's wait and see how this goes. And happy birthday to those that are having birthday today. For those that is a bit like, they don't really like, why you keep saying happy birthday. So if you ever go to a pub, you go to a pub, you almost every time hear them sing happy birthday, because almost every single freaking time I go there, someone is having birthday and celebrating birthday. So end up they will sing a birthday song. Yeah. So that's what it is. So then there's always someone having birthday, every single day. You can check the comments. I'm quite sure you will see someone having a birthday and thanking me for it. So, and if you didn't have birthday, it's your birthday too, just celebrate it, The life is what you make it to be, So over at the Pokrovsk sector, we have fighting reported at Uspenivka, Novosahivka, Udashne, Kotline, Vizbrove, Pischane. So this sector we have no updates. So I'm very curious. How is there no updates regarding this sector? But the Russians still pushing out in all directions at this chicken head. You didn't see the chicken head. You see this is the beak. Yeah, this is the beak, and this is the eyes, and then yeah, see the chicken. Yeah, this is the chicken. Yeah, but the feather behind is very ruffled. Like he's very pissed off, So don't piss off the chicken. But they cannot resist, So yeah. So over in the Minohrad sector, at the Minohrad sector, we have fighting reported at so I already mentioned that. Over at Pokrov, Shevchenko, Zelene, Lysyevka, as well as Promit. Geolocation of Ukrainians launching an attack from Novopalevka, if I'm not wrong. So mechanized attack of the armed forces of Ukraine on the Krasnoarmenskaya belt from Novopalevka. So the Ukrainians are launching an attack captured on footage on Lysyevka, and they landed troops at the geolocation. So it seems like if that is true, then the Russians may have control of all these positions. There's a possibility. I cannot verify that because the geolocation didn't say that, and I didn't watch the footage. So can't possibly tell if the Russians are there, or maybe the Russians are not there, and the Ukrainians have withdrawn from there, and now they're trying to retake the position, and the Russians probably left some gift for them in the trenches, which is always very scary. So so in this war, there's a lot of dirty tricks, and there's a lot of booby traps left from both sides. The more experienced the troops that is fighting in any front line, the more sophisticated the booby traps are. And fresh troops, of course, they do not know how to play with explosive. But once you come to experienced troops, they are very good at improvising basic explosive, even grenades and claymores into some very elaborate ways to kill you or lame you. There's so many reports from the Ukrainian side that the Russians always left booby traps all over the place after they redraw, and this is of course heard from the Russian side as well, but less often nowadays. It tends to be the Russians that are doing that. So yeah, it's going to be quite scary. It's really nothing like the computer games that you play. Like this is really nothing like the computer games. If we do that in the computer games, people will rage quit. They will smash their keyboard and smash their monitor and then get scolded by their mother. So over at the northern flank of the Pokrov front, fighting is reported at Vodyany Druhi. I coughed. I know what you know. I coughed. Melanivka, Yelizavetivka, Novotoresk, and Marolibivka. Oh, I'm so sorry. I spread the virus to you. I cough without covering my mouth. Holy shit. My bad. If you fall sick, it's my fault. please bill it to the Kremlin, because everybody say I'm paid by the Kremlin. So you can send your bill to the Kremlin. Putin and I are buddies. We drink coffee together. Or maybe that is not really him. That's maybe his his clone. He got a lot of body doubles. I just pause the video to cough a few more times. I think I'm poisoned by the SBU, since everybody say I'm pro-Russian. Yeah, maybe the SBU got me. Yeah, or maybe it's just a woke crowd, the Tesla hating crowd. Maybe they also hate me because I like Elon Musk. So over fighting. So this is the Thorax front, by the way. This is Thorax front. This is Thorax. This is New York, and this is the divide: the Thorax front and the New York front. So at the New York front, not flank, New York sector, fighting is reported at Kalinove. Fighting is reported at Pentomelanivka and Alexandropil. So this one you probably already seen. I forgot to gray out. Let me gray shit out. Give me a second. Okay, the sheet is now grayed out. So I've grayed out the sheet because we've reported this in yesterday's SITREP, but the battle still continues over Alexandropil. Over at Pentomelanivka, the Ukrainian mapping have updated that the Russian forces have taken most of Pentomelanivka. And of course, just like the massive coup over at Rozlyv, they make sure to leave a little bit left so that they will not need to declare Pentomelanivka as taken by the Russians, particularly over in this southern part. Yes, definitely some Ukrainian heroes are keeping themselves warm over this sector to make sure that with their the heroic act, we will not need to declare Pentomelanivka as captured by the Russians for another 48 hours or something. It is sometimes this kind of mapping things is just ridiculous. Clearly no Ukrainian forces is going to be there. You're not going to do much if you have no reinforcement, and you have reinforcement, you have already counterattacked. So holding that position don't make much sense. So anyway, that's all from this sector. At the Thorax sector, we have largely the usual. We're fighting reported at Krimsky, Thorax. There is Katerinivka as mentioned. There is fighting reported at Dielevka and shelling at Plishchievka. And there is geolocation of a Lancet targeting so-called abundant armored vehicle in the direction of Katerinivka. So the battles are definitely raging. And also for those that didn't watch the DPA Open Mic, during yesterday in the DPA Open Mic, we talked about we discussed a lot about Ukraine war, and one of the segment is we talked about icing on certain like on the fat bombs where the wings got iced, that end up we reduce their accuracy. There also possibility that drones may suffer from the extreme cold weather, and I suspect, as we discussed, I suspect that maybe the Lancets, remember I've been talking about Lancets, like recently just seems to reappear again. Maybe the Lancets we have not seen them for a long time due to the winter. Maybe the weather is just way too cold for Lancets to operate effectively. So as the weather starts to warm, maybe that's why we are seeing the return of the Lancets. I think that is a really very interesting hypothesis as to know why certain weaponries are not seen. Maybe due to the weapon or the weather situation. That is a very, very interesting thought. So, which is a good encouragement to you to really get yourself acquainted with DP Open Mic, because it's a quiet taste. I understand it's not easy to listen to people you don't know for 5-6 hours, but if you watch them for 5-6 hours, you will know them. You see, that's the catch. Over in the southern flank of the Bakhmut front. So this is Bakhmut, the infamous city of Bakhmut, which is also known as Wagner land. Southern flank, we have fighting reported at Stupovsky and Bilohora. Nothing particularly special about this. Over in the central region, we have Mykolaievka being mentioned in the reports. There's also fighting reported at Chasiv. Your location of another armored vehicle was noted here, most likely Ukrainian areas. Definitely, the Ukrainians are there. So that's all from the central part. Alexeyevo Druzhkivka was mentioned by the Russian side. Yeah, this is very ridiculous, like, you know, very too far away. Like the Russians always mention Konstantinivka, but no, what do you learn if I put the icon here? Also nothing, you know. So yeah, so I didn't note that. Oh, they're talking about that FPV drone hitting Ukrainian pickup. That, yeah, not important. Too far away from front line. Nothing in the northern sectors. We move into the Sivers front. At the Sivers front at 20 minutes mark. So, you know, yeah, the SITREPs are just, you know, not for the faint-hearted. It's for no heroes like you guys, because you guys watch to this point. And so a good reminder for the heroes to pick up your medals over the like button. No, they pick up the like button. And for those heroes that are that have not registered yourself as a hero, do go to the subscribe button to register as a hero. And it's very, half of you guys don't subscribe. It's like if half of you guys subscribe already immediately 100,000. You guys are so hard to sell the subscribe button to you guys who don't subscribe. Why is so difficult? Why so difficult? I can't believe I believe the last video got no subscribers. I can't imagine how does that happen. Oh, got two. When I last checked, there's 0 subscribers on the Frontline Changes report. Oh my freaking god! Now only got 2. I'm not sure if it's this YouTube trying to be funny with me, or you guys really didn't subscribe. So no, never mind. Over the Sivers front, fighting is reported at Verkhovno-Kanyamske, a return of the fighting over here. Fighting is reported at Ivano-Darivka, and Sivers is also mentioned. Verkhovno-Kanyamske is mentioned by the Ukrainian side. They mentioned the Verkhovno-Kanyamske and Ivano-Darivka. So the Russian seems to have resumed the attack. The last attack was on the 27th. So Ivano-Darivka is more consistent. So there seems to be the battles must be around this sector in the southern side of Verkhovno-Kanyamske. So which is why we have the fighting around here for the past 3 days, and it looks like it's pushing up northward, and then now it's being implicating Verkhovno-Kanyamske. So that's all from the Sivers front. We move into the Liman front, or the Krasny Liman front. Or the DPA community affectionately calls it the crispy lemon. So over at the crispy lemon, over in the southern flank, we have fighting reported at Kolodziazy, Yampolivka, and through the Serbiansky forestry. This is really, we can't really tell much regarding this, other than the Ukrainians still managed to hold Yampolivka beyond all beliefs. So how? Looking at this, how? It must be a trap, right? So over in the northern sector, the northern flank, we have the Russians continue their attack around the Novy region as they push towards Katerinivka. But this time round, fighting is reported at Novo-Mihailivka and Novy. Shelling is reported at Rikodub. And at Novy itself, we have the front line changing around here. The Russian forces are pushing from the finger, moving westward direction towards Novy. So this is the way, and this really destroy our hand. It's supposed to be a hand like this, right? It's supposed to be a hand like this. Yeah. So now the hand is very sticky. Like there is this phlegm, on the finger. Very disgusting. They should wash their hands. Over in the Borova front. At the Borova front, we have fighting reporter at Nadia, Zarizove, and Bohuslavka. So that's all from this area here. And we move on to the next front line. Nothing particularly special about this. Into the Kupiansk front. And at the Kupiansk front, we have only fighting reported at Pischane and Kupiansk. So nothing much to talk about. Suddenly there's no more frontline movements in the Timkovka, Zagoryukivka region. So nothing advanced there for the past 24 hours. So let's move on to the Voreshna front. This is Voreshna. This is the Voreshna front. And so in the southern flank, central flank, and northern flank. In the south, we have this. Come on, load. Okay, so in the south, and I could even call this the Kindrashivka sector if you want. So Kindrashivka is here. So Russian forces have been geolocated in the north of Kindrashivka, signifying the Russians' advance from Kalinove. So very significant update, confirming a lot of the Russian claims in the Kalinove region. Fighting is also reported at Rakivka. So the information is coming from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So the geolocation is of course not noted. There's no fighting reported at Kindrashivka, but the geolocation does corroborate that. Does invalidates that. So we will continue to monitor the situation, because this geolocation means the Russians are now entering into Kindrashivka on the verge if they survive there. So let's see how this goes. The rest of the Voreshina front mainly is the northern sector. We have fighting reported at Krasny Pershi as well as Kalyamka. So that's the main thing. The two main towns in this area here still battles raging for it. So that's all from this front line. We move on to the Kharkiv front. This is Kharkiv city, and over at the Kharkiv city, we have shelling reported as Slatine, because it's very slutty, and they say no slutty, no slutty. Yeah. So over at the Voschansk, we have the usual skirmish reported by both sides. So nothing particularly special coming out from this area here. We move on from the Kharkiv front into the final front line, the Kursk front. So at the Kursk front, we have, of course, the Belgorod incursion. The incursion doesn't incur anymore. There's no more reports of Ukrainians going on the offensive. No more. We didn't have that. What we have is the Russian report, the shelling reported at Krasnopilia, Urody, and Petroshivka. And then over in the incursion region, there is no fighting reported at Popovka or Demidovka. We only have Prokody being mentioned by the Russian Defense Ministry. Maybe shelling, maybe an attack. We can't know. And Myropilivsky, which similarly we can't tell if it's an attack or just simply shelling. So this region has gone into the fog. So that's all we know. This is all in the fog. So what the fog? So over in the main Kursk front itself, we have the usual. There's only fighting in the three remaining towns here at Oleshnya, Goevo, and Gornau. So that's all. There's no changes in the situation around here. And over in the final, the Sumy incursion region, there's actually one more town that is under Ukrainian control. It's called Uspenovka. The Russians have been geolocated over here as they try to retake this town, the final town in this sector that is still under Ukrainian control. And that's all. We have no updates on the Russian Sumy incursion. So that's it. So this is the summary for the day of 1131 for the 30th of March. So thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe, and the world is going to hell because more crazy geopolitical situations happening. Marine Le Pen has been sentenced to jail. The favorite to become the French next president, taking over Macron, has been jailed. So much for democracy, and I'll see you guys in the next update.